I think film, television, music all provide an opportunity to sort of level set with folks. Everyone has some sort of connection to a favorite movie or movie quotes or a song, and so when you can tie in content that relates in some way to one of those areas, there's a better chance that someone's going to retain that information. It's not unlike being thoughtful as an elementary school teacher to bring in familiarity to the classroom so that the kids feel safe and can learn on that. It's the same thing, I think, when it comes to content learning management for our employees. Be thoughtful about what it is that is more universal that folks can relate to and then build upon. They'll have a better chance of remembering it. Referral programs are one of my favorite topics, and I know that there are a lot of organizations across the country that utilize compensatory referral programs. And what I mean by that is, if you refer someone into the organization and they last for a certain period of time, 90 days, 6 months, a year, there are programs that are built into some of these organizations where that employee who referred will get some sort of cash bonus, some sort of compensation for helping to bring someone in. And the premise behind that is because, well, it would have cost us X to do straight up recruitment for that particular role. And because John referred so-and-so, John saved us quite a bit of money. So let's give him $250, $1,000 as a referral bonus for that person. There is truth to that. So should employees refer other employees? Yes. I think if you know someone who is qualified for the role, yes. Do I think, though, if the question really is, do I think that should be the main or only stream of candidates coming into an organization? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. As we saw, and I know, on the most recent blog, Lowdown, we talk about the fact that there is a very obvious like me bias that can creep into hiring, staffing within an organization. And that's where folks, it isn't just look like you, though that's part of it. It also is they come from where you come from. They share too similar of views and perspectives to you. It's very homogenous. And that may not be the intended desire, right, at the onset, that this is what we want by the end. I'm not saying that, but it could be the unintended consequence. And so we wind up with a number of organizations that too much look and feel a certain way that's very narrow. So you have to mix up your referral program with some other avenues to have a wide candidate pool for hiring, honestly, at any level within an organization. Bias in recruiting, I could sit here all day and give you ad nauseum, right, a number of these bias mile markers to not go past, right, whether it be affinity bias or the halo effect, the horn effect, whether it be confirmation bias. There's so many different types of bias. So in saying that, for sure, there needs to be training. An organization needs to level set what is it that we should be looking for, and let's define it. If we're worried that we may have some bias in our hiring, it doesn't mean that there is. It means let's define what bias in hiring looks like. Someone or some people need to come together to define what those pitfalls could be. And often that's in all of these types of bias. But there are other ways in which I think the recruiting process is biased. I've mentioned the referral program. If you've got one stream of candidates coming through one type of way, there's a good chance that you've got some bias in your hiring. It looks and feels a comfortable way because everyone is sort of like you. I think that we also need to look at third-party help. Look, if you don't know how to, let's say in this instance, attract a diverse candidate pool, and diverse here could mean visibly diverse, race, ethnicity, gender to a degree, visible disability, because there are other kinds of diversity that we want to be thoughtful about that are invisible: socioeconomics, education, invisible disability, some of these other things, orientation, that you may not be able to see just on the surface, right? Visible versus invisible. For all of that, you've got to have someone or an organization that can help to support coming at it from a different angle. So if you're not great with diversity hiring, ask for help. There are people out there that can help you do that. Even if you do it for a period of time, it helps to reduce bias. It also gives managers an opportunity to learn how to interview differently. And, just as last point, interviewing is a big deal. We really have to be more thoughtful about not just giving a hiring manager a resume and saying, good luck, you're scheduled at 2:00 to meet with this person. That's not helping them. Have a way that there's some uniformity to questions, but also when there's going to be some play in those questions, how do I help that person to know how far is too far? What kinds of questions might lead to an unintentional and an unconscious bias? Point it out. Make it be something that's apparent and not something that's an oops, can I be forgiven? Let's figure it out before there's a need for that. I'm John Baldino with Humareso.